Hogwarts Legacy seems to be a much better game than expected. The game has lots of exploration. You can literally explore and go anywhere you want. You can also interact with some characters for side missions, do some challenges, etc. Also, the details in this game are amazing. You really feel like you are in a castle and everything looks really good. You see the students walking around, hanging out, and even flying in broomsticks. The character creation seems also pretty good, with good amount of options to choose from. You can also choose to be a wizard or a witch when you're creating the character, and also the difficulty. We didn't get to see what we actually do outside of Hogwarts. Unfortunately, that gameplay wasn't there, and I'm not expecting much from it either. I also think combat is pretty fun. You have a set of 4 spells that you can choose, and once you use a spell, you then use 4 more basic attacks. I wish the combination was more like using Accio and Leviosa at the same time, but unfortunately that's not the case. You can also block your shots, but not only that, you can also counterattack to that person, which is actually pretty cool. Overall, combat is pretty fun. It's nothing new per se, but whatever it was good enough to be enjoyable. I don't know if there will be any higher level enemies, but when we actually get to fight real enemies, that's when we get to see the actual combat. But even though what we saw was positive, there were a few negatives. I have seen people complain about not being able to go to a class in the game, which I understand to some extent, but I don't know how it's gonna work out if that was a feature. According to the game director, you will be attending classes which is narrative driven. It's not something that you can just walk into and attend a class. Apart from that, I don't know how it's gonna work really. Maybe they can have one particular place where you can go and study and actually level up your spell or your XP a little bit, maybe, to help you in the later point in time in the game. Another thing that I have a slight problem with is the voice acting. They're not bad, but they're sort of monotone. Now, I believe because it's an open world game, that's where the voice acting is not going to be super energetic and, personality driven in these games. But then again, God of War Ragnarok, there are so many side characters that you meet, they have that personality in them. However, in this one, it just kind of feels flat in some ways. Of course, one thing that everybody talked about, that everybody wanted, but it's not in the game, and that is Quidditch. You will not be able to play in Quidditch, which definitely sucks. You can see the Quidditch ground, but you cannot play in Quidditch. But I also understand why they have not implemented it. Maybe it's a little bit more harder to have that aspect of it. However, I hope that they could add that into the narrative instead, like just one particular mission where you are in Quidditch and that's it. So everybody gets the taste of Quidditch instead of you just walking around and going to that field and then, getting to play. So what we're getting right now is pretty good. They have a very well built Hogwarts. They have a lot of people to interact with, great gameplay mechanics, and the story is yet to be seen. So that I feel like is a little bit more important part of the game. So in the end, I'm gonna definitely try this game out. It looks exciting to me. I am very impressed by what I saw, and I'm looking forward to it when it comes out next year. And speaking of trying games out, did you know that Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose is a game that you should definitely try? Check this video out to know about it all.